I'm Josh with Waupaca Community Media, and we're joined today with Sue and Peg from the Waupaca Area Public Library, and we're right into the holidays. And how are you doing this week?
Good.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I'm doing
Josh.
great. The cookies are starting to come in. I'm starting to eat Christmas cookies every day. Life is great.
Well, you'll have to bring some over here.
Oh yeah, sharing food. I don't know if we're supposed to do that during COVID or not.
So speaking of the holidays, one of the neat things our community can do is get their letters to Santa, and that takes place very close to the library. How can people get those letters to Santa? Because this year it's maybe hard to physically go see him in person.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you that I'm kind of excited because never before have I been able to submit my letter at the place where I work. So this is pretty great. So my letter's been in for quite a while, and I want families to know that if they haven't got their letter to Santa in, there's a spot in the lobby where they can drop their letter to Santa, and you know, it's getting down to the wire now because he's busy, really busy. And so you have until Saturday to get that letter in order for Santa to see it in time for next week's big holiday. So I'm very excited.
And it's in the lobby. So just come into the lobby. You don't have to come into the library. It's right there next to the City Hall doors. So get your letters in.
And Sue, I heard you're getting coal for Christmas. I'm kidding.
I know. But that's happened before. So I've learned throughout the years, and I'm much wiser now. I'm a much better behaved young woman.
So as we talk about the holidays, you guys have a great gift idea. Earlier this year, there's a project in the community as people were staying at home more often and maybe doing more cooking and baking than maybe dining out. Some new recipes may have been discovered. So tell us about how that came together and what that cool gift idea is.
So we partnered with the Historical Society to gather people's recipes from when they were safer at home and compiled them into a book, but it's also stories. So it's not just the cooking piece of it. It's what were you doing during the pandemic? How did this affect your family? You know, what memories do you have? And good and bad. So it's interesting to just read the stories, and there are some great recipes in there, and it's a $10 book that you can get. Just step right into the library, and there's a box for your payment, and then the book is there for you at the desk. And I think it's a great way to share what we were doing during the pandemic. And the Historical Society is actually keeping all of the original recipes as a historical document of what happened during the pandemic. So
what a great, unique gift idea you won't get anywhere else.
That's right.
Exactly. And the other day on public television, there was a big show about the pandemic, the flu pandemic of 1918. Yeah. And I thought, 100 years from now, someone's going to discover what we were cooking in 2020 or 2020, that'd be pretty great.
And how we were cooking, because everything will change by then. You'll probably just be able to zap it. It won't be the microwave. It'll be the, I don't know, death ray or something different.
Another cool holiday thing is your Beaded Snowflake craft kit you can get. Tell us about that, and that could be a cool something to put on your Christmas tree or to gift to someone.
Exactly. So our make and take packages, or take and make, I gotta get that right. You have to take it before you can make. So anyway, so our take and make kits are available at curbside, and this is a collaboration between the Community Arts Board and our exhibit room coordinator, Liz Kinnear. And some of the kits that are put together in 2021 will be from the Children's Department. So we will have lots of opportunities for you to get some things and make some things. But right now, the kits that are available are this beaded snowflake craft. And you get all the supplies you need to make it, including the directions. And so you don't have to check anything else out from the library. You just have to come to our curbside, call the number that's on the sidewalk sign, and ask for a kit, and someone will run it out to you is curbside service. And so this next week, there's a new one that's going to come out, and it's an Origami Bookmark. So that would be kind of fun. So they're really designed for people of all ages, young people as well as adults. And so we're hoping that you get your creativity on and come over and get a take and make kit.
It's always fun to have just some kind of an activity when your family gets together and, you know, sit down and do something fun that uses your creative outlets.
So speaking of families getting together, maybe not all families are physically getting together this holiday. They may do something over Zoom or Facebook or one of the other online meeting platforms, and the library can help people learn how to get started with those if you're not familiar. Tell us where we can find those tutorials.
Well, Liz and Laura have been really busy making tutorials to help people understand how these new software pieces work. You know, if you've never been on Zoom before, you're not quite sure where to go and how to click and what do you do and how to get your speakers to work and all of that. So they've created some tutorials, video tutorials, once again, using our video studio, the exhibit room, and creating those so to help families be able to get online and visit with family.
You know, a lot of people know, like tonight, my granddaughter in Stevens Point is in a dance recital, and we've all been given the Zoom link, and my husband is like, oh, I don't Zoom. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're going to learn to Zoom because there's no other way of watching this dance recital if you don't Zoom. And so there may be other people out there whose families are encouraging them to virtually meet, and they're confused and don't know how to, how quite to make it happen. So if anybody watches those tutorials and still has questions, you know, they can still call us and we'll try and talk them through it over the phone. But these tutorials are great help for connecting people. That's one of our outcomes for during the pandemic, is to connect people, not just with the library and with the community, but with each other. And so these tutorials really meet that outcome.
And something else you can find on the library website in addition to these tutorials is you've put together a list of resources. So we got the good news this week that the COVID-19 vaccine is making its debut. And anyone looking for factual information, you've got something put together. Tell us about that.
So we have a whole story on our website that has links that were provided through the CDC and the Department of Public Instruction. These are places where you can go to get that information. What's the science behind this vaccine? How safe is it? You know, some of those myths and misperceptions about how the vaccine works and you're going to get sick from it or not. All of those pieces are right there. So link on, just go to our website, click on those links, and then you can get a little bit more information about the coming vaccine.
And we're headed into the holidays. We got Christmas, the Christmas holiday and the New Year's holiday coming up, and there's going to be some closings and changing with your hours over that time period. So when are you open? When are you closed around the holidays?
So we're closed on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the 26th. So that's 3 days of that we're going to be closed in December. Then we'll be open again until New Year's Day, New Year's Eve Day, the 31st of December, and January 1st. So there'll be 5 days in the next 2 weeks that we're going to be closed, but we will be open right away on January 2nd, which is a Saturday, on our regular hours from 9 until 2. Now, that said, anybody who is still returning things can certainly return them in our book drops, and those drops will be emptied daily. So that sort of thing is still happening, but we want people to know that if they're looking for curbside service, they're going to have to plan around some of those closures. But this gives our staff a chance to be with their families too. So
it also our Info Soup is available 24/7, and of course, if you're on the digital library, you can get new materials even when the library's closed. So,
and our Wi-Fi, if you're in the parking lot, you know, you can still get our Wi-Fi from outside the building. City Wi-Fi too, right, Josh?
Yep, plenty of Wi-Fi right downtown. So whether you're in the lot or in front of the building or Maybe not in front of the building. The weather's been getting colder, but City Square is nicely covered. Let me jump into next year, and you've got a virtual book club coming up pretty early in January.
Yeah, so January 9th, it's a Saturday. We're going to be discussing Hillbilly Elegy. And I had to look that up because elegy and eulogy, they're kind of closely linked, but an elegy is really about expressing the sorrow that you feel. And a eulogy is kind of a celebration of a person's life. So it's two different things. So this is Hillbilly Elegy, Memoir of a Family and Culture in Crisis. So
and there's a movie coming out. So
yeah.
So here's the deal. We always say at the library that the books came first and the books are always better than the movie. So I'm just going to stand with my tried and true statement there. Read the book and then see the movie and see if I'm right. There you go.
And then another virtual book club you have coming up on January 23rd, a brand new one, the Tall and Small virtual book club.
So we have been hearing great stories from people in our community who are connecting with their grandkids or their nieces and nephews, and they're reading online together, or they're talking about books with their young readers. And so this is a great opportunity to have a tall and small, in other words, a young reader and their caring adult, read the same book and join our book discussion. So we're going to try it, and our first meeting will be January 23rd at 10. It's a Saturday at 10:30, and that'll give both parties, the adult and the young reader, a chance to get the book and read the book. Our first book is called Wish Tree, and it's by Catherine Applegate. She had another really famous book called The One and Only Ivan, and so that was a terrific story. If there may be readers out there who recognize that title, Wish Tree is by that same author. It's a perfect story about neighborhoods and how we make people in our neighborhoods feel welcome. And very exciting time for us to try and connect these young readers to either a grandparent or might even be a neighbor, maybe the neighbor. So it's a virtual event until we can get together, and I'm excited to give it a shot. So books are available for both the Hillbilly Elegy and the Wish Tree. You can place holds on InfoSoup, or you can call us and we'll get a copy for you and call you when it's ready to pick up. So.
What's neat about that is that there's no geographical boundary. So if your small is in Minneapolis and your tall is in Waupaca, they can both participate. So there's just it's books without borders.
I love it.
Cool.
And then you've got a pretty hefty challenge coming up, the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten Challenge.
So 1,000 books before kindergarten, it has been a national initiative for a long, long time. And I recognize that it would take a pretty special parent to be able to keep records on 1,000 books that they read to their kids in the course of 5 years from birth to kindergarten. And I've been hesitant to jump on this bandwagon because I myself struggle with doing anything for more than 10 days. I mean, if I had to keep track of the food I ate for more than 10 days, I don't think I could do it. Exercise, I start out with all the good intentions and I just fail miserably. But because we have this online app called Beanstack that helps us keep track of things, we can scan the ISBNs of these picture books that we read to our kids, and the record keeping is much, much simpler. The other interesting thing is that we have participated in a statewide 1,000 books before kindergarten, but I get no return information about who locally is participating. So by using Beanstack, we can keep track of that locally. And staff here at the library has been really excited because our new 1,000 books before kindergarten that we're going to roll out in January is going to have a zoo theme. And after every 100 books, you'll earn a digital badge on your computer app. But it'll also reward you with a resource page of early literacy tips, finger plays and rhymes and bounces, books that you could share around the animal on the badge. So let's say you earn the bear badge. We're going to give you a sheet of paper that's going to give you lots of things to do around that bear theme. And so it's promoting early literacy. It's helping develop the habit of reading every day. I think it's going to be absolutely fun, and I'm excited to offer it to Waupaca and area readers. So
I think one thing that's really cool about that too, Sue, is that you have these book packs for parents. And if you get 30 books in a week, that 1,000 books is going to go pretty quickly. You know, if you get 30 books a week, it's not going to take that long to get to that 100 mark.
Yeah, if they were chapter books, we'd have a problem. But picture books, 32 pages on average, it's pretty good. It's doable.
Well, Sue and Peg, thanks for getting the community up to date about all the cool things coming up at the library, and happy holidays.
Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.